From the studios of KENW on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, it's You Should Know, featuring the people and events of Eastern New Mexico and West Texas.
With me today are two fine musicians, and they're not only fine musicians, they also teach, and that's great as well. Seated next to me is Wayne Anderson, and Wayne is the worship pastor at First Baptist Church in Portales. He is also the president this year of the board of the Friends of Music at Eastern New Mexico University. And next to Wayne is Dustin Seifert, and Dustin is the chairman of the Department of Music at Eastern, and he's also the director of bands. And Wayne, we'll start with you. We're here to promote something that's just great for the community, the Pops Concert.
Pops Concert, yes. Pops Concert will be Saturday, November the 20th at 7 p.m. in the Cub. Tickets are $40. And it's going to be a night of good food and good music. The Swanee Singers will be presenting some songs, and Dustin Seifert and the band will be presenting songs as well. And we'll even have a contest. I'll let you tell them about that.
Indeed, we will.
Okay. Dustin, tell us about it's a wind symphony, right? I mean, it's not just a band. And what's the difference, and what kind of sounds are we going to hear? Which one of the instruments replaces the violins? Which set of instruments in your?
Okay, I'll start with your latter question first. The clarinet generally. Okay. The B-flat clarinet replaces the violins in the wind symphony. Mm-hmm. But the wind symphony has a tremendous amount of original repertoire written exactly for the instrument groupings you'll see in front of you. And really, there is no difference between a band and a wind symphony other than the fancy name, which first appeared on the scene in the early 1950s when the conductor Frederick Fennell decided to call his new band concept the Wind Ensemble. There seems to be a bit of a difference in people's reaction to the words concert band versus the title Wind Ensemble. Does a wind ensemble sound a bit more dignified than a concert band? So the Wind Symphony is an extension of the wind ensemble concept. It contains a little bit larger instrumentation, which gives it the appearance, at least, of being more like a traditional concert band. But really, it is a wind ensemble at its heart.
I'm always impressed with how quickly you can put a beautiful performance together when we go and see the Pops Concert. And what sorts of things are you working on this year? Can you give us some names of tunes or an idea about it?
Certainly I can. As Wayne mentioned, the Swanee Singers will be singing a variety of popular repertoire. And we may have a slightly different approach to the programming this year. We're going to work that out where we intersperse some vocal numbers as the Wind Symphony is performing to bring the concert together a bit more and show it as the true collaboration that it is. So we're going to open with Dr. Sid Schuller conducting Bond, James Bond, as in the movie that was recently released. I think that the audience will really enjoy hearing those classic tunes from James Bond movies over the years. When that concludes, we're going to feature Dr. Pam Schuller as a clarinet soloist on a polka by Henry Mancini from the movie The Great Escape, and that is entitled Pie in the Face Polka. So you'll get to see Dr. Schuller's incredibly high level of musicianship. I really feel she is a virtuosic clarinetist, so people will be very impressed with that performance. Then, as I mentioned at our meeting the other day, we're going to do an 11-minute work by Pdq Bach that was transcribed by the famous Professor Peter Schickele. And this is sort of a parodied piece written in the classical idiom, but it is humoresque. It is meant to entertain people with the melodies that are composed and the sound effects that are added. The one we've selected is the Grand Serenade for an awful lot of winds and percussion. That promises to make people laugh. And if it's not funny enough, I understand there may be wine sales at this Pops concert for the first time.
Yes, that is something that we will be having.
And I think that will make the Grand Serenade even more enjoyable. People will laugh more heartily. Then we will have our annual Name That Tune competition, where members of the audience will be requested to identify tunes in a medley of all that I'm going to give you in terms of a cue is movie music, classic movie music. The winner of that competition will conduct the Wind Symphony on the nation's national march, The Stars and Stripes Forever by John Philip Sousa, and then we will close with our traditional tribute to the armed forces, as our concert always occurs very close to Veterans Day each year.
Very good. Wayne, you are a member of this community. You live in Clovis as well, and a music program at a university is a real plus anywhere you live. Tell me what parts you appreciate most about having this school here and having all of these music people around you. Since your career has been in music, you were in charge of music at Clovis schools for a long time.
Right. I was the choir director at the high school for 23 years, and then I was the music administrator for the district for 12. And we have become very familiar and very tight-knit with the music department at Eastern. In our church, we have 4 scholarship vocal students, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, that sing with us, rehearse with us on Wednesday, and then are part of the praise team on Sunday morning. And we also have 4 instrumentalists that are college students, 3 of which are music majors. We have our cage drummer, as we call him, Dalton Binkley, marvelous percussionist. Thank you so much. Ryan Body plays bass for us, and then Joseph Quackenbush plays lead guitar. And a young lady who's not a music major, Abby Cameron, is on the keyboard. Her grandmother plays organ, and my wife plays the piano, and that's our band. And basically the choir is the vocal team, and we have about 20 in our choir. We sing anthems every other Sunday or so, working on a Christmas cantata right now. But our ties to Eastern are many, and we've been sort of without performances, live performances, for a year now, 19 months, I guess, since the COVID has hit. And it feels so good to be able to come back and hear bands and choirs and ensembles. And we try to get down here as often as we can to hear the various students perform, especially if they're attached to our church. We feel like we have to be in the audience to support them. That's our job as music advocates. And that's a word we take very seriously. We want to support them with our attendance, and the University Friends of Music is supportive through scholarships and our guest artist program that Mr. Seifert is very familiar with and appreciative of, and just a great community resource, Eastern, and we're fans. We're here as often as we can be.
Tell me about what's your favorite part of the Pops? I know you're a regular attender.
Well, obviously the music.
Well, yes, but
the Swanee Singers have been gracing the Pops concert for a number of years, and Dustin's band, symphonic band, wind ensemble. Those are things we really enjoy. Food's always good too, and just the fellowship. There's 8 people to a table normally, and people that we either know or need to know. And during the meal, we get acquainted, and but at the end of the meal, we pretty well know everybody. And then there's dessert and coffee, and it's a social time as well as a musical enjoyment.
I'm going to take some time and give people a chance to get in contact if they want to attend this year. And once again, it is on November 20th at 7 p.m. at the Campus Union Building. Admission is $40 per plate, and the tickets are sold by mail. And we'll have this on the screen for you. You can mail and ask for tickets to Kathleen Salter, Pops 2021, 112 Texas Drive, Portales, New Mexico, 88130. All questions that you have should go to 575-562-2373, and that will be the main Fine Arts office, and they will be able to answer any questions that anyone has out there. And I happen to know that one of the things that's going to be served is roast beef this time, or beef. They said beef. They didn't say roast, but anyway, beef.
With brown gravy.
with gravy. And there are also, for those who may be vegetarians and wish to have a vegetarian meal, they can arrange for that as well. And we certainly want to encourage everybody watching out there to give us a call. The deadline for that will be the 12th of November. You must have mailed in and asked by the 12th of November. And that's it's as simple as that. And Dustin, how does this help you in recruiting students when we have some scholarship funding available? How important are scholarships? Let's just ask you that.
I think scholarships are absolutely critical, and there are numerous scholarships that are available to students, but the scholarships that are awarded by the Friends of Music are awarded based on the results of a solo competition that is held each spring semester. And in terms of retention and retaining students that we have already recruited and moving them forward as far as their professional development is concerned, that competition process, which includes a preliminary round of auditions and then the finals, its impact on a student's education cannot be overstated. It gets them in the practice room. It gets them to become more familiar with their instrument, but probably most importantly, it allows them to discover themselves as a soloist, which is so critical to their development as either a performer or music educator. So I think it's absolutely an integral part of the educational process of the university. The concert is something that the students very much look forward to because, of course, they're immersed in popular culture. They enjoy playing movie themes, and there's not a lot of time in the programming of a collegiate wind symphony for Pops music to be programmed. This gives us the opportunity to program specifically Pops lighter type repertoire that engages the students. And this event, with the meal occurring on a Saturday night, is an important town and gown affair, and the students realize that and always look forward to it as a highlight of the performance season. So in terms of recruitment, it is something that I always mention to serious musicians when they come to visit ENMU, because it is very much like music that they may perform in the future if they're playing in a regional orchestra or a military band or something to that effect.
This is a good investment too, isn't it? Tell me about where some of the people who graduate from here end up going or working, some across the country, some right here making music in eastern New Mexico and West Texas, where it's good. Tell me about that.
Yes, I mean, music educators are the highest proportion of our student body. And if we just start here locally at Portales High School, you have Kelly Morrison, who's an alumna of the institution and is the director of bands. And you have Maggie Mendoza, who is the director of choral activities and also an alumna. If we go up to Clovis, we have alumni teaching in that program. We have a very prominent alumnus, Brandon Borio, who is occupying Mr. Anderson's former position as a director of music education. And if you attend any of our band festivals in the southeast part of the state, you will be surrounded by people that love green and silver. As you note, that extends outside of our border into Texas and well beyond. We have a graduate who's a high school band director in San Francisco, and we even have one graduate who is a band director in Italy right now. Whoa. So truly, the impact of the ENMU music department is worldwide.
Very good. Wayne, how does you, having been in a public school for so many years and all that good experience, how does music affect the students? What part of the music program is just really good for the students?
I think the interaction the students have, they share a common goal, a common bond through singing or playing that can't be experienced any other way. And it takes the group to make the sound. And so that it's a collaborative effort, teamwork, if you will. And individuals have to improve themselves to improve the group. And we emphasized the solo aspect that gets the performer playing extremely well, singing extremely well, and then you plug that into a group where everybody else is playing or singing extremely well. It's an unbeatable combination, and the camaraderie that exists among students, even at middle school level, high school level, and then in the college level is pretty amazing. Friendships form for life, and it's just hard to beat that.
Dustin, tell me about the guest artist program. What are some things? When I was here as a drama student, Carl Malden came and taught acting classes. So tell me what some of the guest artists do that come here to Eastern.
The perfect example would be a guest artist that we hosted last Thursday, whose name is Jerry Tashwa. And as a performer, he is a member of Duo Tashwa, which is Jerry and his wife on the piano. Jerry is really an esteemed and world-famous vibraphonist. And percussionist in general, his primary instrument, solo instrument, is vibraphone. So last Thursday at 2 p.m., he provided a master class to prospective students, not just percussion students, but any student that was present and interested. We had great attendance at that. He talked about a variety of topics, including dealing with performance anxiety, creating sort of a portfolio career for yourself where you organize performance opportunities as your own agent, composing music, remaining relevant, living through the COVID pandemic and coming out on the other side, still engaged as a musician. And then in the evening, he and his wife presented a lovely solo vibraphone recital where neither of them used music for an hour and 15 minutes and played an incredibly diverse program for the students. It's programs like this that the Friends of Music has supported for well over a decade now. And those are the added benefits that ENMU can offer prospective and current students that we feel help make our program unique and are an added draw in terms of recruitment and retention.
The citizens all across eastern New Mexico can come and see performances by these people as well.
They're always open and free to the public, and generally very well publicized.
Tell me about trying to keep students together, to work in a group that is basically, they all work together, but they're all at home playing into a little microphone on their computer. You all did some tremendous work, I think. I watched some of the things that the music department did, and it was very good. It had to be, pulling your hair out. Obviously, it didn't infect you gentlemen as much as it did me. But anyway, tell me about doing that. What was that like?
It was a challenging situation. From March of 2020 until October of 2020, there was no face-to-face contact with music students. Everything was done virtually, and it was incredibly challenging. Last fall, for instance, our marching band, the Greyhound Sound, which is a fixture at ENMU, met exclusively on Zoom. And while to the general public, the virtual recordings of the fight song and the alma mater might be very popular, it is far less engaging than meeting in person and performing your normal field show. I must say, though, that the students have really helped lead the way through the pandemic with their resiliency and their desire to return to normal as quickly as possible. That has helped. So I would say that it was far less than ideal, far better than doing nothing at all, and something I hope we never have to revisit again.
Amen to that.
It's amazing how we human beings love to communicate, and we like to do it a little closer than 15 feet apart.
Right.
But we just kept it up during that time, didn't we?
We did, and that was our goal, to keep it going. We did think outside of the box. We did some very innovative things as faculty. I mean, the list is too long to go through, but really the main point of everything we did was an effort to maintain contact with the students and provide them a path forward and a path through this. It was a very challenging time, but I mean, if you judge how effective we were by Sunday, October 24th's Wind Symphony concert, things went pretty well. The students were still practicing as individuals, and the performance level is very high.
And that's very good. Wayne, once again, tell us about the Friends of Music and the Pops concert. How important is that, do you think, for the whole music program during the year?
I think it's vital. Just the monies that the Friends provide for our scholarships, I'm not sure where we'd get it if we didn't do it that way. It's a great fundraiser for our organization to plug into the Eastern Music Department and also the guest artist program. It's invaluable.
During this time, we will have the address up where they can write and get tickets, and also the phone number if they want information about the show, so they can see it on the bottom of the screen.
Sounds good. And thank you for doing that.
You're certainly welcome. I'm looking forward. I just always enjoy seeing all the people that I've known for so many years, and the best people there, though, I have to tell you, are the young people, the performers. It's such a delight to see that what it was like for me when I was a student many, many years ago, it is still like for those students. It is still a good experience for them, and we can help that with the Pops concert, can't we?
They're very professional and very energetic. It's always a pleasure to hear them sing and play.
Very good. Well, I want to thank both of you for not only coming and talking to me, but for working with young people. It's important that we keep that future in rhythm. Have just as much music as we've ever had. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you very much for watching.